It's been a couple of days since Benfica lost to PAOK away in Greece, and although playing away, um, there was no public, so you couldn't really think that the away factor was going to be against Benfica that much. Obviously, it's easier to play in your own stadium because you're used to it, but at the same time, there was so much to play for, and I think that everyone was really optimistic, considering the huge investment that the board has put through so far in preparation for this season. And it was a massive disappointment to have been eliminated in the first official match of the season. And although you could say that PAOK did have a couple of official games before playing this game, it is not 100%, in my mind at least, that this was a decisive factor. Benfica was actually the best team from the get-go in the first half, and it was only in the second half that I think that PAOK really started coming more into the game. But in the starting 11, there were a couple of surprises, at least for me. I wasn't expecting Pedrinho to be playing. Everton was expected to make his official debut, so I think everyone was expecting that. But also Seferovic playing up front, I was very surprised with that. With the signings and from what we have as experience of the manager, it is very unusual for him to play this type of player. I actually thought that he was going to be one of the players that he was going to be sold, but at the same time, if Benfica were to be part of the Champions League, perhaps he could become a squad player. But we need to keep in mind that he's playing in front of Vinicius, who was top scorer last season, and he's playing ahead of Darwin Núñez, recently signed for a record fee. So I was very surprised to see him, and I was even more surprised to hear him say after the game that he didn't really have a striker that looks for spaces. I mean, obviously you can argue that different players offer different things for each game, but at the same time, wouldn't you play in such an important game someone that you believe is the best in your squad? I really found that to be strange. And I think Seferovic did have a poor game to a certain extent, because he had a clear header at the 26th minute, which I think he should have done a lot better, from cross from Everton. There was a free kick from Pizzi at the 29th minute, who hit the post, and I think a lot of the first half, Benfica was really pushing PAOK in their half. I think that it was only in the second half, and obviously this is a strategy from the PAOK side, that they started to exploit Benfica on the counter, as well as Benfica dropping a little bit the pressure. It is massively disappointing, because we were expecting to have a really strong team the board has made a huge effort to sign big names, and we really don't know where this leaves us in terms of building the squad for the season, which obviously, considering the money that will no longer enter Benfica's safe, you will be limited to what you can spend on wages and signings. So it will be interesting to see over the next few weeks if any players are going out or if there are any signings. There has been some speculation that players from Flamengo, Bruno Henrique and Gerson, were still a strong possibility if Benfica had gotten through this game today, as well as the playoff that now PAOK is going to play against Krasnodar. It is a massive blow to Benfica's expectations for the season, but at the same time you have to consider that the last few seasons have been really terrible, and if we do have a decent campaign in the Europa League, that could still be a step in the right direction of building a team that is going to be more competitive in Europe, which has been one of the biggest issues over the last few years, with some disastrous performances in the Champions League. It was really hard for me on the day of the game and even the day after. That's why I didn't do this this reaction earlier. But we have something to look forward to. The league will come back very soon, and that's our next official game. And it is obvious that the main objective is to win the league this season, to be consistent, to play good football, and I think that's what the supporters will definitely demand for the rest of the season. So hopefully this was a bad start, but good things will come, and we'll have some silverware to show at the end of the year, at the end of the season next year. The next game will be against Famalicão. That's going to be the debut in the league. Obviously, the expectation is the win. Nothing but the win will do at this point, and we'll have to wait and see in the next few weeks what's going to happen in terms of signings and players going out, because I think there is still a lot of definition that will change necessarily, because the confidence was there that Benfica was going to be able to get through these stages to get to the Champions League. That's not going to happen. Europa League is our reality now, and that's what we have to live with.